All right, everybody, welcome to our live with Ashley the MP, Bree the MP, and myself, the Nomad Nurse, where we are taking over the Connect RN accounts. So please do join us now as we get started here, okay? Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. Let me add in all of our panel. Hey, Bree. Let me add you in and figure out how to do that. Let's see. Let's see. Let's add everybody in.
Hey!
Hey!
Girl, I still don't know how to add nobody in on no live.
Listen, I'm like, they got the least technologically inclined person to take over the app today. Like, really? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? How's your...
It was good. It's good. I've had a good week at work thus far. I'm ready for my contract to be over. It's almost over, so.
Ain't no problem with that. Trying to get my light together.
Yes, me too. Let's see.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody. Let me know if you see Ashley.
There we go.
Let's see. Ashley in the room?
All right.
Okay, I invited her. I don't know if she's in the room or not. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hold on. We trying to get it together. We having some technical difficulties. We looking for Ashley on here. So if y'all see her, please say there she goes.
I think I seen her pop in.
Oh, it got all this stuff on here, child. I cannot. Oh, Lord. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. You said you saw her? Let me see.
Yeah, I think I saw.
There she is. Okay, there she goes. Let me see. Ashley, I'm inviting you. There she is.
I've been trying to join forever.
It's me. That's why I said they picked the most technologically declined person ever.
Like, I've been here. It's like, hey y'all.
My bad. I couldn't find.
No, you're fine. It was definitely the app. Like I had to close out and come back in.
Okay, because I kept inviting and it was like it just wouldn't do it. So.
Right. I don't know what's going on.
So how's your week been, love?
It's long. Very long. Felt like it was never ending.
Understandable.
How about you guys?
I was just telling Bree, ready to be done with this contract, you know?
Really?
One more week.
And that's funny, I just extended mine.
Yes.
I like mine.
Yeah. I'm sure you like that money too. Come on, money.
Right. Okay. I've been getting a lot of stuff done. It's been right. Yes.
Well, welcome everybody. Thank you, everybody. We'll take a couple more minutes to get the room filled, but basically what we are discussing today is mentorship in nursing and what it looks like and what is your why in nursing. So we have some questions from our viewers where we will begin here probably in the next minute or so. We do have to keep the live under an hour so that we can save the content so you can watch it in the future, or we can save it and watch it ourselves. So we'll go ahead and get started. So for the first question we have from our viewers, let me see, is what is nurse mentorship and how do you define it?
That's a real loaded question.
Okay.
No, Sam, you only got an hour?
Yeah, we only got about an hour.
Okay. You go first, Bree.
Mentorship is, there's a lot of tiers to mentorship. I think there's, and when I was thinking about the live, I was thinking about all the people I've met during like my nursing journey. So like when I first started and I was an ER tech, like I had nurse moms. Everybody got a nurse mom. Like somebody who makes sure you know what you're supposed to do. Maybe a shortcut here. They trying to make sure you chart right. They bring you food, things like that. But I think that that's I think that can be a mentor. And then you have people you meet when you start as like a baby nurse, and you get your person who rocks on the floor with you. Like, I had about 2 people when I was working night shift, and we was arm in arm. Listen, this your patients, these my patients, we gonna pass these meds, we gonna do this. So somebody just to help guide you. And then as I got older and started to get into like branding and doing entrepreneurial stuff, you start to network and meet people who are entrepreneurs and can help you in that realm. So I think, these are all people who are nurses and made businesses and stuff like that. So I think there's different tiers to nursing, but to me, mentorship means a guide. And I posted that on my feed the other day. Like, it's literally somebody who advises you. It's a guide. They take you under their wing, give you connections, things like that. So I think when I think nursing and mentorship, that's what I think about.
Okay.
I think that's a really good answer. And something I've been thinking about the lab as well, and I was saying I kind of want to take a stance on mentorship that's a little different. And I agree with what you're saying. I want to talk about what mentorship isn't, because I think sometimes that is really where the confusion is. It's not necessarily like, how do I find one, or it's just like, what is this even what a mentor does kind of thing. And I think I I believe that a mentor, yes, is a guide 100%, but a mentor definitely is not someone that is going to like plan your life for you or like make decisions for you or things like that. They really are there as like a sounding board if you're maybe like caught between 2 options or a few options, or if you're like, hey, I was offered this job or that job or something, like, what are your opinions, or what are some questions I should ask, things like that. But not like, hey, do you think I should be a nurse? Like that's not a mentor question. That's and I think it's really important throughout tonight. I want to make sure I talk about that distinction a lot to make sure that people one, understand what that mentor relationship is, and two, how to make sure you are getting everything you can from a mentor and also not overwhelming your mentor.
So I would say I agree with both of you guys. So, and I think with both definitions, it makes a cohesive effort. And so with the positive aspects of mentorship, like it creates a safe space between the mentor, which is the experienced nurse, and the mentee, which is a new grad nurse or, a tech or whomever their mentor. It creates a safe place. It creates a foundation of knowledge and expectations. But it also, like you said, in what it is not, is that we're not here to plan your life or make life decisions for you. We're here to guide you. We're here to aid you and help you. But those decisions, important decisions and things like that, are all up to you. And I think that also what mentorship is not is negative criticism, in that, like, as mentors, we should be constructive, making sure that if you don't agree with what your mentee is saying or is going through or experiencing or whatever at work, to make sure to make your criticism constructive. Like, what is the takeaway? What are they learning from this? What are they learning from your expectations or from your guidance? For both.
Yeah. I think mentees also have to be teachable, though.
Yeah.
So I think that goes hand in hand. Like, we have to make sure we're not just talking and saying anything. And I think that's where how you choose a mentor and the mentor you chose, you'll know you guys have that relationship, but you also have to be teachable and know how to take criticism, because not a lot of people do. And
Right.
take it as something, bad. And sometimes it's not bad. It's just, they don't like it.
Right. is if you can't accept as a mentee like constructive criticism, like true constructive criticism, someone like really trying to help you or aid you, then at that point you don't need to be a mentee. You don't need a
yeah. Someone that takes dedication on both ends.
Yes, and it's so true. It's so true. I think I completely agree. And I saw something somewhere. I can't remember who posted it, but it was saying something like, you don't need a mentee, you need like oh my gosh, what was the term they used? Like you just need like determination or something, like basically saying that like a mentee isn't going to give you the drive to like actually achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Like you're going to have to actually want whatever it is you're, you know, looking to do, whether it be go to nursing school and P school, whatever the case is. A mentor is not going to like make you want that anymore. You know what I mean? Like you have to actually want what it is that you're, you know, working towards to in order for that relationship to work. There's no mentor in the world that's going to be able to convince you like that being a nurse is for you if it really isn't, you know?
Right.
So also like making sure to keep that in mind. Like the relationship really is to nurture and grow you know, the mentee's career, their confidence, and whatever the case is in whatever space that is, you know. And if you're not sure, you know, maybe like a mentee can help you like find out if it really is the best for you, maybe ask you some questions and things like that. But like in terms of like, oh yeah, I actually don't think nursing's for me, but I want to be a nurse, can you like make it for me? You know, like, you know, it's not something that we can do.
What you got in your question box next?
Okay, our question box next, let's see, is okay, we already discussed what the negative aspects of mentorship, what is it not. So the next question from our viewers are, who have been some of your mentors throughout your nursing journey and what made them a great mentor?
Shoot, a lot of those.
Right.
Shoot, I mean, one of my mentors, to be honest.
Hey, not really. And that could be something, but I have one mentor that like honestly changed the game for me. And I met her in nursing school. She was actually our career services specialist. So she helped us with our resumes and cover letters. Isn't that funny? Because who has a resume and cover letter business now? But she kind of helped us, you know, optimize our portfolios as nurses. You know, we were all second degree students, so we came with like other backgrounds. So she like, you know, configured things to make it nursey. And one thing I really loved about her is like she helped us with our resumes, but she also like explained like the changes she made and why she made them. So I felt like I learned a lot from her. Like I took what I learned from her and was able to apply it in so many other places. I felt like that was really important as a mentor to get like knowledge that I could pass on, or like, you know, I guess put forth to the next person. Oh no, that's free. So she and she also was like another Black woman where there weren't a lot of Black faces where I was, so we kind of connected off that. And we went to Howard University, so we also had that like connection. You went to Howard?
No, I'm just
I was gonna say yes.
Apple childish.
Right. Oh no, I was like, where she got?
It's cool.
So it was really, really nice to have like a familiar face, to have someone that, you know, was so willing to explain things. She'd go through like her whole career, like, oh, like this is what I did and this is, you know, whatever. It got to a point that like every day, like I would end up at the end of the day on the couch in her office, just like, it was like therapy. I'm like, you will not believe what happened in clinical today, blah, blah, blah. I just thought it just happened. We had one appointment. We got along so well. Next thing you know, I'm going for like follow-up appointments. Hey, look at this resume. Look at this cover letter. I made it like a million times. And the next thing you know, I'm in her office every night. Or, you know, talking to her. We're on the phone for hours. We're going out to eat. It was amazing. Like, it was just so great. Just so it was kind of like a friendship, but professional. And also beneficial in terms of you know, my growth as a nurse. So the one thing that I would say that I tried to be mindful of is her job was kind of to take care of all of us as nurses. So I had to try to make sure that I wasn't like trying to take all of her time, you know, like, hey, you know, you also have to see these other students. Like, I'm like, all right, I probably can't stay in your office for 4 hours a day. Like, I probably have to leave. But, you know, understanding that, like, you know, just respecting space and time, and also just understanding that she's gonna have things to say that I'm probably not gonna like hearing, but probably need to hear. And like, I became a better nurse because I heard it. And it kind of goes back to that constructive criticism thing. Like, if a mentor can't tell you that you need to be doing better in some way, which is really their whole purpose of being there, is to make sure you're your best you. If you aren't the person that does well with getting that type of feedback, then, you know, a mentor relationship may not be exactly what it is you're looking for. You might be looking for like a more support group type situation or like community type situation. And that's fine. You know what I mean? But I felt like that was one of the main things about her that I valued, was her coming at my neck sometimes. Like, when I needed to, like, girl, that was not smart. You need to do that. Like, this is why that was not smart. Whatever the case is. Like, I think it's important, of course, to follow up your constructive criticism with, like, you know, useful feedback. But, you know, you still need to be able to take that, or it really, I think, is purposeless. You know, or you could just hop online and find, you know, some information. I think that's what makes it different, right? Someone can actually like assess what you're doing. So yeah, that's my mentor. I love her to death. It's been, oh my God, almost 10 years now. And we don't talk every day. We don't talk every month, but when we do talk, it's always great. And she keeps up with me. I keep up with her, and it's great.
Okay. You want to go next, or you want me to go, boo?
You go ahead and go.
She's still trying to figure out which mentor she wants to talk about.
I've had a couple as well, but the one that stands out in my mind would be, her name is Jade. And so Jade followed me from literally, well, we followed each other we went to the same undergraduate school. So we both went to UT Arlington and both graduated with a degree as well. So I'm second degree as well. And then went into nursing. So we kind of had the same story a little bit in starting nursing. So she was able to help me in that way, and that she started the profession before I did, like a few years, maybe 3 to 5 years before me. With that knowledge base, the platform, and the experience within the workplace as well, to kind of guide me through nursing school, guide me through my nursing career. She was with me through my ups and downs of nursing school. I would say the main thing in regards to a mentor that is very important is being a good listener, because you don't always agree with what someone is saying, but being a good listener, like listening to what they have to say, what their perspective is it is a very important quality for a mentor.
That's so true.
Especially, like, you can be with somebody when they're right, but are you against them when they're wrong? Are you able to provide them constructive criticism so that they have a takeaway message? They have something that they have learned from, as opposed to, you know, nagging or being negative or whatever. But it starts out with being a great listener before you're putting in your input. Listening to what they have to say is very important. And so that's the main reason why I really, really appreciate her, is that I have the ability to come to her and say pretty much anything that comes to mind. Like, if I'm having issues with it or with management, or while I was in nursing school, like having somebody to just sit down and listen to what I have to say, because not all your instructors are going to do that. Your manager is not going to do that. They are limited to time and space. So having someone to listen to what you have to say is, like you said, it's kind of like therapy a little bit. So I'm very appreciative of her, and actually extended herself into creating a mentorship program called Peoples to Peers. So she's doing that now. So I'm just so excited and impressed by what she has going on right now in mentorship. So
that's great.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes.
I have one person, y'all. And I think the reason why is because like my nursing journey was very, very different. So I had a lot of guides and people to, you know, help me out, right? But my nursing journey, I kind of started alone. So I really didn't, like my nursing school, I didn't know anybody. I met people when I was there. I made friends. You know, when I moved to Dallas, I had friends, but they weren't in nursing technically. And, you know, I started like my nursing journey there, and I met people.
I started in Dallas. Come on, Texas.
Yes, I work at Methodist Dallas, girl. 2 years. So I don't really have a person technically to pinpoint, because I always say God always sends really good guides. So I have a lot of people who, if I didn't meet them, I probably wouldn't be the person or the nurse that I am, or nurse practitioner that I am. So I don't know. But if I had to pick somebody like really off the top who's important to me, it would be Nicole Thomas. I know you've heard of her. She's on Instagram. She's part of the Power Network. But I met Nicole in 2016, and that lady has just put her arm around me and just been like a really like true big sister. We both shared our nursing journeys with each other, and since, you know, sharing our stories with one another, she has just been very, very supportive, just, you know, lifting me up or saying, this, don't be doing that, what to do or what not to do, and just putting me in different rooms where I can meet, you know, other people, because I think I walked my healthcare journey alone for a lot of the time until I started meeting a lot of people. And so I would really have to attribute that to her. Like, she's super real, she's very authentic, and I think that's one thing that's missing from people, especially now. Like, everybody has this, you know, thing, this facade that they put on, but when you meet somebody who's really real and they can share their story and really mentor you and lift you up, I would literally have to say it's Nicole. I really appreciate everything she's done for me. So
yes, I agree. Somebody who is imperfectly perfect, like that has been through the struggle in a different sense, but like it's the struggle of coming up as a nurse, and, you know, whatever you're going through, whether it be bullying, racism, whatever the case may be, somebody who has experienced that and knows how to guide their way through it, and that can guide you through it as well. I really like that. I really like that.
Somebody with experience, because people
right.
A mentor, but they don't have no experience.
Right. Because it's easy to say, oh, I can be a mentor, but it's the experience base that we're looking for, that are good mentors, and provide good mentorship to others. Yeah. So that brings us to our next question, which is, what have your mentors left you with that you've been able to pass on and share with others? So I'm guessing he's saying like share with others, like your mentees, if you have mentees.
I think mine's would be, stop acting like what's in you isn't there. Like we talk about, you know, imposter syndrome a lot. And I think that, you know, when you've accomplished so much and you work really hard, we tend to be like overly humble and not really share all the things that we work for, right? We kind of like dumb it down a little bit. And I struggle with that. And I see that the nurse practitioner students that I've mentored, they also struggle with that. It's like, you worked hard for this. You put your blood, sweat, and tears in the degree you got your license, you passed your boards. Like, this is it. Like, you can live in this moment. Like, you were blessed to be here. And I think sometimes people struggle when they get to that peak. It's like, okay, I got it. And then, yay, and then I go work, and then I try to accomplish something else, when you didn't really bask in the moment of you celebrating you and everything that you worked for and you accomplished. So I would have to say, like, you know, if you know you accomplished this, you know that you did this and you did it with your blood, sweat, and tears, like, live in that moment. Celebrate you, celebrate your wins and all your blessings, and just rock out. And if people can't accept the fact that you're truly blessed and you're living your dream that you worked hard for, I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell them. But that's what I tell my mentees. Live it up, girl, or man.
I like that.
I know, for me, I think the most valuable thing I got from my mentor is it was like the audacity. If that makes sense. So it was like I had like, oh, I think I'd like to work here, but I don't know if I'd be like good, or like, I really see myself doing this, but I don't know. And like, just being super unsure, like, I really like to do that, but it just seems so, excuse me, like far-fetched, you know, to be like, oh, do you think I'd be able to do that? You know, and like, every little idea that I had, I was like, oh my gosh, it would be kind of cool to work like in the pediatric ICU. Like, like, whoa, you know, that kind of thing. And then she'd be like, girl, so apply. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean? Right. Just kind of like, just go for it. I want to say that was something like, I really, really got the confidence to do things like that from her. Like, she'd just be like, just do it. Like, she got me out of my head and would be like, you're great. Just like you said, you don't celebrate your wins. Like, look how far you've come. There's literally no reason you wouldn't be able to do like what it is that you're saying, you know, like, you're afraid for no reason, or you're nervous or scared or whatever the feeling is for no reason. So like, I felt like that was so important, because I really took that same like ideology and that same, you know, just do it concept and just applied it to literally everything. Like, I'm just like, oh, you know, I think I want to start a business. Oh, just do it. Just go ahead and do it. You're not going to find out until you do it. Does it work or not? You don't know until you do it. You will never know. You can ask every person in the world who's already done it and still not know if it's going to work for you. So you're just going to do it, right? So, I really, really loved that she was that way. It kind of was like, you know, and I, just like how you're saying, you know, being able to accept feedback and stuff, like, I can see how some people may be able to like, you know, turn that into, you know, like, oh, like maybe she's like being pushy or like, you know, whatever, you know, but I just took it as like, she believed in me, saw things in me that I wasn't able to see in myself, like had foresight in the field, and like saw that I would be good in this realm, you know, and was like, you know, she made sure I knew that. And I felt like, you know, the minute she said, I was like, girl, you crazy, but I'm going to do it because you said so. And I'm listening to everything you said. And now here we are, you know, many moons later, everything that I ever thought I could do, I did it. So, you know, it's just like having that confidence boost. And that is what I try to put forth. Like, anybody hits me up like, hey, I think I want to do this. I'm like, well, you better go ahead and hit that apply button. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing we can do to get you there if we just talking about it here. You got to take the steps, whatever the steps are, you know? So yeah, I think that was the most valuable thing.
The audacity.
The audacity.
The audacity.
Yes. The one thing that I've taken away from my mentor that just stands out to me is just like, and it's kind of a combination of what you two said, but like representing yourself, like showing up to work, being the best you can possibly be.
Yes, that's a good one.
That is good. That is really good.
Culture, whatever your culture may be, just showing up. Because there's not a lot of minorities in general, not just African Americans, there's just not a lot of minorities general in healthcare. And so just showing up as yourself, as the best nurse that you can be,
Yep.
and show up for your culture, just because representation matters so much.
Yes.
It really does.
Yes.
See, minorities in nursing and in healthcare, and be professional, have a positive attitude, be insightful, be the greatest. Means so much for other people to be able to see that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And also the ability to even just pass the torch, like not just sitting on your knowledge and just allowing it to build yourself, but passing that torch on to other people, being a mentor yourself.
Don't be keeping.
You know what I mean? Like being a mentor yourself, so that you can pass on the knowledge, pass on the knowledge base, pass on whatever your mentor gave to you to other people, and be the light to someone else, basically. Like my favorite quote is, "Be the change you wish to see in the world" by Gandhi.
Yeah.
So I try my best to live by that all the time, being the change that I wish to see. Like, even though healthcare as it is that there's so many discrepancies in healthcare, but being the change that I want to see. And with that, it's being a positive mentor to somebody else. So that's what I would say.
That's good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great chat.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. Our next question is, why is mentoring so important now more than ever?
Girl, because we on the flat line, child. Healthcare needs some CPR, honey.
Don't shock it.
Come on now.
You gotta compress it.
I really think that it is good.
We're on a flat line.
Listen,
Woo! It's giving a sister lead.
For that, because we is here, okay? People have had up to here. And I think restoring hope is what mentors can do at this, like right now, because I've seen so many people graduate nursing school and they get in their first year and they're like, I'm done.
Yes. And a lot of those people, it's unfortunate, but they don't have anybody like or to be able to guide them and help them. Like they sit on that negativity, as opposed to reaching out to someone and help at first them to guide them through, instead of just giving up and quitting. Like, yeah,
I know I think, like,
but I understand it.
Nursing has changed so much, and it's just like, if everybody is in a state where they're burnt out and you're new and you're coming and this is your first experience, it's just like, who can I tug, who can I hold on to, kind of thing. Like, can I get from you? And then if I try to get from you, are you burnt out? You're gonna be like, girl, I don't know, nursing this, nursing that. You know what I mean? So I think that a really different kind of genuine person who has, maybe healthcare a little ghetto right now, and that's okay. But you have your moment, and I think that's everybody pulls from that. Like, you have a moment where you had a touching, something that happened with your patient, or somebody giving you some kudos and tell you are valued. We need you here, and stuff like that. I think that's what keeps people going, because if it's just what we experiencing right now, we're gonna be, we have to it. But I think we just need mentors right now to restore hope.
Yes.
And to continue educating, because girl, people just out here miseducating folk. They just telling them anything, and I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yes. Especially the cases that are in the news right now. Like, I'm just like,
Okay.
a little more positivity and hope for people. Like you said, like, there's still positivity and hope in it. Not fear and neglect. Like, there are people out there that really need an upbringing in nursing, and it is important for us to be there for them, in bringing them up. Like, yeah, I agree with you.
You got some thoughts.
Let me tell you, my biggest thing, I feel like, all because someone's good at something doesn't mean they should be a mentor.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That ain't even on the docket, but let's go and talk about
Come
it.
on.
I'm sorry. I'm starting. I'm starting. It came to me. I was like, it's sitting on my heart.
Reel it in.
Come on, interrupting. Come on, disrupting. Come on.
So, because let me tell you
Hmm.
something. So there are, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm that person. I'm that person right now. And I think someone can be a good mentor. It's we have seasons, okay?
Okay, there's stages.
Okay, and so this is the thing. Like I've had numerous people reach out to me and say, "Oh, I want to do this. Like, can you mentor me and whatever?" And I'm like, I think this person would be really great for you. My thing is, if I'm a phenomenal nurse, I'm a phenomenal nurse practitioner. I get my job done. My patients love me. My families love me. I would be a great person to have people under my wing, right? And I have. I think it's very, very important to identify when you are stretched too thin, when you are doing too much, when you just aren't there right now. You don't have it in you. You don't have the bandwidth in you to be that person that someone needs. Like if I can't be there for you 100% in the way that I feel like a mentor needs to be there for you, then I'm not going to do it. Regardless of how good I am at my job, regardless of how lit my life looks, regardless of like whatever, and you're like, "Oh my God, I want to be you." It's like, yeah, but I can take that and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take you under my wing or whatever." But it's like if I'm gonna do like excuse my French, half-ass job, I'm not going to sign up for it, right? And I think that is happening a lot. It's a lot of people that are signing up to be mentors that, okay, I'm so happy that you had that. I need one to, hello. Like, you have to, one, understand what your role is as a mentor and decide truthfully within yourself, are you really able to take that on? Excuse me, and it's like I feel like I've seen a lot of people, it's like, oh, like, I'm mentoring and whatever, and I'm like,
are you though?
Right.
But you just
and
you don't know how you know what I mean? Like how. So it's just like it's so fulfilling to be a mentor, right? I love to see my babies move on, and oh my God, I have mentees that are way beyond me, doing things way further than I ever thought I could ever do, and I love that. And it's a great feeling, but only if you can be there for them in the way they need you there for them. And there's some mentees that are less needy. There's some mentees that are more. They're going to be the ones that, like, literally everything that happens, you're going to hear about it. They're going to be the ones that's like, hey, you know what? Let me give you some updates over the last few months. This is where I'm at. I'm at this crossroads. What do you think? Like, that's the type of mentee I can handle right now. You know what I mean? If it's the like day to day, like the mentee I needed in nursing school, I couldn't be my mentor. Like I don't know how she found it. I couldn't do it. But like, I think that is really, 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 really important. It's like I say all of that to say, one, if you see someone especially on the social media, this app, man, if you see people on the social media and you're like, wow, she's a nurse practitioner, she's Black, like, I want to be like her, I want to do that. Take some time. Keep watching.
Feel them out.
First of all,
start a little dialogue. See if y'all click. Yes. Like, do y'all even work? Because I could take a very beautiful picture somewhere. I'm on a beach. I'm laid out like off duty because that's my thing. I always say, I'm in these streets, and you're like, oh, I want that. Not the best. I'm really not the best. The best at my job right now. Not the best as a mentor. So, and I think that's very important because I think a lot of people are finding their mentors online nowadays on social media, or identifying people
on the app.
And on this app, be cat. All right.
Being so
yeah. And that goes into kind of what Bree was saying, authenticity of people on this app, just making sure that people are authentic and that they are in the, like you said, the correct capacity to be able to take you in. One, two, are they authentic? Do you mesh well? And so with that, I think with mentorship and mentee and mentor relationships, that setting expectations is very important in the beginning. Like, what are your expectations, excuse me, as a mentee? What are your expectations as a mentor? And if your expectations do not mesh well, that person is not meant to be your mentor or mentee. Okay? Kind of direct somebody. If you are a mentor and you are incapable of taking this person in, and your personalities do not mesh well, or your expectations do not mesh well, refer them elsewhere, because you are going to be a detriment to these people as opposed to aiding them in the profession. Refer them somewhere else. Same with mentees. Like, who, the people that are your mentors may be great for you. You've discussed your expectations, and may be great for you, but may not be great for everybody else. And that person may not have the capacity to be able to take other people in. You have to be considerate of people's time and the place of what they have available. Yeah. So it goes both ways, in that setting expectations is very important in the mentor.
So is setting expectations, establishing boundaries. Establishing boundaries are, I think those are the two biggest things. So, okay, so we talked about, what a mentor is and isn't, and kind of how to identify a mentor. Y'all should click, you should mesh well, hopefully in the same career field. But honestly, I even know people who have mentors that aren't. But they're kind of just overall life, this is, life people, life guides, I guess. But we talked about that. And I think, once you found this person and you're like, hey, this person's great. I think we really click. I really like what this person has to say. I think we have similar outlooks on life and goals and things. Then the next step is to what are the terms? What's the terms and conditions? You know what I mean? What are we going to do? Is it going to be a check-in thing? And I'll say I've never really actually had this conversation with a mentor before, or with one of my mentors, I should say. I feel like it's kind of something we always just found some type of groove or some type of rhythm at work. But I think in this day and age, especially, status post-COVID, where people are kind of all over, are you even in your office, not in your office, things like that, establishing a schedule of some sort, hey, do you want to check in every so often, or what is it, or having whatever your method is. Do y'all want to have do y'all just text, how do you guys go about it, and just kind of really establishing what it is that you are looking to gain. Right. I really, really am learning. I'm interested in this field. I want to get to this point. What's your end goal? What's your 10-year plan, your 5-year plan, your 1-year plan? What is it that you're looking for, so that your mentor can know how best to guide you to get there. Because again, the mentor is not going to tell you what it is you want to do, because they don't know. They are going to help you with the tools, or give you that tea that you didn't know to get there. That's what it is. So I think that's the best next step. You want to establish your terms and conditions. What is this relationship going to be?
What are your expectations of it?
Yeah, what do you need from me? Do you need in person? Will it be just hey, I need an ear to listen? Or like, do you need me to like look over your resume and your personal statement? Like, you know, like how, you know, what kind of, what are you really going to need? And it's like, that may evolve over time, and it should, you know, as you grow. But I think it's really important to establish like what it is that both one party can offer and what the other party needs, and make sure that really
works with
in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you already kind of answered the question, but one of the questions from the viewers is, how can you get started? So how can you get started?
Mm-hmm.
How can you start it?
Sorry.
Just like, you know, not a
Ambulance. I apologize. Y'all can hear that.
City living.
Always live on an ambulance route.
So for me, like, how do you get started? There are programs within the universities, as well as there's apps like Connect RN that connects you with mentors and or, you know, mentees. Becoming a leader within your campus or on your within your hospital, within your unit, definitely is a fresh start in initiating a mentorship relationship with another nurse or PCT or whomever you're mentoring. Definitely being a leader within the unit will help you gain the qualities you need to become a mentor.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is just, you know, innately meant to be a mentor. Like, you have to be coached and to be a mentor. You know what I mean? Like, so programs
or at least be a good example of one.
Huh?
No, I'm saying, or at least be a good example of one. A good example of what a mentor looks like. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But apps like Connect RN connect you to those mentorship programs and finding a mentee and mentor. So I would say, yeah, becoming a leader within your unit, whatever unit you may be acclimated to. So
right. So joining them committees that like y'all like to ignore those emails.
Yeah. That's how you find mentors. You know?
Right.
Look,
so
here, him.
I really need that. But yes, like
they don't want to be, but want to complain.
Agree.
It is no more. I ain't gonna lie. I'm traveling, but you know.
But see, that's different,
right?
But, you know, because you're not somewhere, but if you're somewhere for a long term or something like that, get on the committee, because I swear people always be the ones that's not on the committee want to complain. Don't be complaining. Don't have no strategy, no solution, but got a complaint. I don't understand.
Got a problem for every solution.
That just don't work. So if you need some kind of somewhere to get started, join the committee. Let your voice be heard. You don't have to be the person always at the front of the class. We ain't saying that. Just get involved and start to get, you know, some experience with that. Because how is it and mentoring could be one-on-one, it could be group. But how can you start to get comfortable with different strategies and teach people where to be, or, you know, align themselves with, if you didn't do that for yourself?
Right.
Or do some sort of something for yourself.
Like, how do you build those qualities within yourself? Like, you just hop up one day and be like, you know what, I have the qualities of being a mentor. No, you need to have to be taught to be a mentor.
This app. And so because I was gonna say, and that's exactly to my point, is saying like, oh, because you're good at something or you've achieved something once. I don't know if y'all seen like people that are like, oh, how I started a business and made $2 million in 3 minutes, and this, I'm gonna show you how. So because you did it one time, somehow you are now an expert and can educate the masses. Is this going to work with a different product? Is this going to work with a different, you know what I mean? Like
a different
have you done your scientific process for you to determine that this is statistically significant? Like how do you know that what you have done is reproducible? And you know what I mean? So you, like me becoming a nurse practitioner, I'm not about to go and say, hey, every nurse practitioner in the world, come to me. I know everything. Like, you know, like that's not how it is. So it's like,
we are the world.
Right. You know, like this doesn't mean that you can do everything. You can't do that because you did it one time. You know what I mean?
Not an expert everybody's not an expert in everything. Like,
Yes.
everybody doesn't know everything. Like, for me, I took an experience to where, you know what, girl, I was very ill prepared. Finishing our grad program. Girl, you was the one who told me what an MPI was. I didn't know what that was.
No, right.
I had no idea. I had no idea. So I'm just like, I'm taking this experience and I just dug into research. This is what you're supposed to do. But you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Okay, let me test this out. All right, I got it. But if I just didn't research for that specific topic, why are you on here telling people what a CAQ? Why we talking about that?
You didn't go through it. You don't know.
Why are we talking about that? And
right, and that's the thing.
Because
then you're not gonna know how to troubleshoot, right? And I feel like that's what's so important. Like, if your mentor should be able to
shoot.
Right. Or like at least know where to head. Okay. Oh my God. I bumped into this issue with a nurse manager. This and that. Oh, well, yeah, I'm a mentor, but I actually never talked to my nurse manager before. So
I don't know how.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, okay. And I think everyone can be a mentor at whatever stage, right? So as a new grad nurse, you could be probably a really great mentor to new nursing students.
Absolutely.
Right? You know what I mean? Because you have made it through there. You've seen other nursing students come behind you and you're like, oh, I see. Okay. Especially if you were like a peer mentor or something, you know, student government or something where you kind of were involved with other people, you know, like, but now as a new grad nurse, should you be a mentor for another new grad nurse?
No, y'all at the same spot.
Like you all are 2 minutes ahead of me. Like, how can you guide me? You can only guide me, but to your heels because you're right here. Like, you know what I mean? So just like being reasonable and like where you are, understanding where you are, and like I've seen people that were like guys for applying to CRNA school and never got in. Like, how
does that work?
Like, how?
I'm done.
You know, so yes, these are the types of things. Like, please,
we gotta have another conversation.
It's not enough time.
This needs to be a part 2. This is need to be a part 2. But I think we should end on, you said why nursing. So I think we should all share why nursing, because and make this a part 2. Mentorship is so loaded, bro.
It really is.
It's the app. I'm telling you, it's the app.
I'm telling, because I swear it's complicated until this app.
It's the app.
It just got so strange.
Why nursing? I actually used to want to be like growing up, I told myself and my family, no, I want to be a baby nurse. I want to be a baby doctor. But going through school and having mentors and things like that, and realizing the difference between nursing and medicine is that there's a care and there's a cure. Which one do you prefer? Care or cure? Care or cure? And so I learned the difference between the two, in that care is what is more important to me. Being at the bedside was more important to me at that time. So I veered my way towards nursing, and always wanted to be a NICU nurse. I always wanted to be a NICU nurse. And so I pretty much manifested that. My family manifested that into me, in that, you know, she wants to be a baby nurse. Like let's get her there. Let's get her the mentors that she needs, the resources that she needs to get her there. And then once I got to that point, you know, seeking mentors that were able to help me either within the NICU, or at least nurses that have had experiences within the field, just finding those people that are necessary to give you that constructive criticism, that push that you need, but also not there to tell you what to do with your life. Like, you ought to have, like we've already discussed, you ought to have goals and expectations for yourself before you reach out to any mentor. Have some type of foundation for yourself. And not only that, like, I basically had an experience whereas my niece was a premature baby. She was 6 weeks early, went home basically with an apnea monitor and damn near died, literally. Had an apnea monitor went off, and my brother and sister-in-law had it, found my niece, like lifeless, did CPR that was taught by the NICU nurses. Did CPR and they rushed her back to the NICU and they pretty much saved her life. Mm-hmm. And so all this is going on. I think I was in middle school or high school. I'm just like, oh my God, like I literally need to be a NICU. Like this is what I'm destined to be. I did everything in my power to push myself to get to that point. And so that's my why for nursing.
Period.
She said period. Yes.
I wanted to be a doctor just like you, and I quickly learned that that's not for me. Okay. Don't do that.
Okay.
But I wanted to be a pediatrician. I work in peds now, but I told myself as a nurse I never wanted to work in peds, and then God put me there. Boom. But I got into nursing because I always wanted to become the best nurse that I could be. But I know that sounds cliche, but to recreate the moment that a nurse gave to me when my dad passed away. I was 17. My dad was murdered, and you know, we had to decide, as my brother and myself, was 19 and 17 at the time, what to do. She explained the process, educated us both. We were very young, didn't really know about making that decision or how hard the decision would be. She walked us through the entire process. She was very compassionate. She rubbed my back. She just was there. And I think those are the experience that really change for people and for patients. And, you know, what I'm learning now in peds, like a lot of patients don't have parents. Some of them are going through a lot of different things. And so I want to be able to be that person, that compassionate person, that person who can educate, to create this experience that I got. Because I don't think that if that nurse was there, that process would have been, and it wasn't smooth, but she made it a little bit better. So for me, that's my why nursing, because I just want to create that for people and make sure that people are getting that, even though sometimes nursing and healthcare doesn't love us back. You know, I think you just have to stay true to yourself and what your experience is, and that's mine.
Love it.
Great. My why. It's
we don't have a time.
I'm the type of person that finds out why while I'm doing something. Like I don't know why I'm here yet, but we're gonna be there. So I think for me, there's so many things. I also was pre-med. It's so funny how that happens. And I shadowed a physician, and I realized that like the whole time I was like with the physician, I was watching what the nurses were doing. I wasn't watching what he was doing. I was like, you're boring, but like what they doing over there? They're actually doing stuff. And I was in college, you know, and I realized like, wait, like I think I actually want to do this nursing stuff. And my mom's a nurse, my older sister's a nurse, so they've been trying to tell me to be a nurse forever, and I was like, no, I want to be a doctor. I don't want to be just a nurse. So anyway, you know, I realized towards the end that, you know, I think nursing is it. And then I always knew it was going to be pediatrics. There was no way. I had to work with the kids. But I think why I'm still here, is the flexibility and the options. Like we all love and care, and, you know, had an experience. I used to be a sick kid in the PICU. I work in the PICU. I feel like no one knows what it's like to be in the PICU more than me. I was in there. You know, I mean, you could work there for years, but you don't know what it's like to be in that bed. And I felt like I would be a great person to advocate for the patients and their families. But while I'm still here, definitely the flexibility is top tier. Yes. Because I think why you come to somewhere doesn't necessarily mean why you're still there. And especially in this field will quickly teach you that why you started probably ain't going to keep you there. But it's important to like continually reassess what you're doing and making sure that what you're doing is still the right thing for you. What you want to do at 12 doesn't necessarily mean you still want to do it at 35.
Realizing that.
Making sure you're checking in with yourself. But yeah, I like to talk about why I started something. I always like to talk about why I'm still somewhere too, just to make sure that I'm still checking in with me, and doing what aligns with who I am right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah,
oh, this is great.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, this was so good. I hope you have some good ideas of how to find a mentor and how to sift through this app.
Yeah.
And make sure you check out Connect RN.
Yes, follow Connect RN.
Yes, they have content like this.
And tell them to do another a part 2 to this.
Yes,
with 3 of us, because this has been amazing.
Slide in their DMs. Tell them you want more.
Don't forget to follow us.
Yes, follow. Send us a DM if you have any questions.
All right.
And I'll see y'all ladies. Have a good weekend.
Bye.